Hi, welcome back to the channel. So today we've got something a little bit different on the channel. This is the new Polaris Kinetic. It's the electric version of the Polaris Ranger. And on the farm we run the diesel, the Ranger diesel, because it works in really well with red diesel on the farm when we're doing our farm work. So this is an alternative to that. It's a different power source. And we've got it for about a week. And then it's going back to our ward, courtesy of our ward up near Sandringham. And this is a 30-mile range model, so you can get a slightly higher range, which goes up to about 80 miles. So we've got the lower range, and it's charged up on a charging lead, so you can basically charge it up in your workshop, in your home, wherever you like. And what I thought would work really well with these is perhaps on a farm, charging it up from a solar panelled roof or something like that. It sort of ties in really to renewable energy, which I think is quite exciting. So I've been wanting to have a go with one of these for quite a long time. One of my biggest gripes with the current diesel is perhaps the sound in the cab. Yes, it's convenient because you're running on farm diesel, but that being said, the sound is an issue. Whereas this, as you'll see today, the sound is not a problem because it's so quiet. You can hear a pin drop. It's electric. It also has plenty of torque. Its performance is phenomenal because it has so much torque available. And if you look at the other version as well, which is the petrol version, you do get the convenience of filling up a lot faster with petrol. And one of the downsides, of course, with petrol is you have to go and fill up at your local petrol station if you don't have your own petrol facilities. But of course, they are quite a slightly quieter cab to the diesel. And, you know, the sound is probably not as quiet as this one, but it's still pretty good. So with each power system, whether it's petrol, diesel or electric, you have a compromise. And I think they all work in different ways depending on the application. And I think gamekeepers will, in particular, really like this model because it's really good for things like deer stalking because it's so quiet, nothing can hear you. It is silent in the night. That is its main secret weapon, I suppose. This is why I call it the secret weapon, this, because it's great for things like lamping. Now, looking around it, it does look very similar to the current model. It's actually styled in exactly the same way. Underneath, it's got the same drivetrain, the same system, same automatic transmission. You've even got the pickup bay in the back, really nicely laid out. And you can't even see the battery, which is underneath, sealed in that unit. But that is where it is, away from the ground. You've still got plenty of ground clearance. Like I say, performs as well as the normal diesel off-road. See our ward there, courtesy of our ward. So yeah, so we'll take it out for a spin. I'll show you what I mean about it on the farm. This is the 14.9 kilowatt version. Like I say, you can get the slightly more powerful version going up to 80-mile range. I'll take it out, I'll show you what I mean. Personally, I've had it here for a few days. I really like it, and I think it's a step in the right direction. All right, so we'll just get in the cab. So as you can see, we're just opening up the doors. We've got nice gas rams. So inside we go. So just shut the door. And of course, unlike the current diesel, no engine to start, which is really strange if you are used to that. So just flick the ignition on, it will come back to life. So there we go. So that's just basically an ignition to start the battery up, a bit like your phone when you take it off the unlock switch. So we've got forwards and backwards. If we put it in high, reverse is on a switch. So we just press reverse, and then it's like driving an automatic car. And it's really strange not having an engine noise. So that's what's quite strange about it. Up the barrier goes. So we'll go down the road and I'll show you what I mean. No engine noise, just all silent, just very quiet. And I'm off to go and check the cows. So here we go. So it sort of builds up speed. There is a bit of noise, as you can hear, more like a whine really than an engine noise. If you sort of really, you know, put your foot down, she will go. So top speed on this is 40 miles an hour. It's actually limited, and you can have it de-restricted to do about 55 miles an hour. Of course, it's all relative because the more you put your foot down, obviously the more battery you're going to use, if that makes sense. So a bit like with a car, the more fuel you use, the more energy you use. At the moment, you see we've got a full battery down there, just over 30-mile range. I leave it on range on there so I know exactly how far away from the farm I can go. That is one thing I suppose you do get I suppose, would be a little bit of range anxiety, because if I drive to the marshes, to the Broads, and you're out there with this, you need to make sure you got enough range to get home. So there is that element to it. It's a little bit like your iPhone in a way. You've got to make sure it's charged up every night. And whenever I come back to the farmyard with it, always leave it on charge. That way, it's always charging, because it's going to take time to build that battery back up again when it's been quite low. So you see we're going through this water here, easy. With the sealed unit on the battery, it's not really a problem because it's waterproof, watertight. So, you know, the technology is improving, it is getting better, and it's quite exciting, really. I am quite excited about this technology. Although there's a lot of sort of hate towards the EVs in you know, certain industries, I know EVs won't take over tractors. But that being said, for things like farm buggies, you know, power tools on the farm, we run the Milwaukee power tools, they're great. And for things like this buggy, I think it's got huge potential. It's a lithium-ion battery, so it's, you know, really modern, cutting-edge technology. And the thing is, this is only one of the first ones. It's only going to get better as time goes on, and I do hope that in time people, you know, just get out there and have a go with one. So this is technically, you could call it an EV, and I'm not really a big EV fan, to be honest. I'm not a fan of electric cars. I'm not really that bothered about them, but this is probably one of the coolest farm vehicles I've ever driven. That's how much I like this thing. And if I did have one, it would be the extended range model with the 80 miles, because then I could really, you know, use it for checking cattle on some long distance journeys. I really, really like it a lot, and it's starting to grow on me, put it that way. So it's just the charging. Could we integrate it with the solar panels on the farm with the buildings? You see at the moment we're doing, you know, top out of 40 miles an hour, you can get that de-restricted. Battery's gone down to about 28 miles. You know, for now, a 30 mile is fine just to get a taster of it. And obviously as you take your foot off the accelerator, it will wind down to the speed that you want to go. You can also put it in different modes as well. There's eco mode, sport mode, comfort, various different modes. Currently we're in eco mode to save the battery to get the most out of it. So handling is very good as well, because the battery has got a good bit of weight. It's low, positioned lower down in the back end of the chassis, so it's really, really good at cornering, and it actually handles, I would say, slightly better than the diesel version. Another thing is you can have a conversation in here, and I think that's the biggest plus. The sound is fantastic, it's really quiet. In the diesel, you know, sometimes you have to have ear mufflers on when you're topping out at 40 miles an hour, so it swings and roundabouts. You know, the compromise, I suppose, with this would be the charging time. It does take quite a long time to actually charge it up, depending on which battery you go for. And in the future, there will be an improvement, because these will get fast chargers, I've been told. So it's good. It might go from a 4-hour charge time to 10 minutes. You know, just go in, have your coffee, leave it on charge, charged up again. You know, and that's what I'm excited about, is the future of these. Where's it going to go? So we'll head back to the farm and we'll have a discussion about this current electric Polaris and the previous diesel, which is on the farm at the moment. Alright, so we're back in the farmyard, and let me know what you think in the comment section down below. We've got the diesel just behind us here. This is the regular one we use on the farm every day. That's a farm diesel version, the Ranger diesel. Of course, this being the Kinetic would be really good to run it off those things up there, the solar panels. I think that's the way these could work in the future. But what we will do is, if anyone's interested, what we're going to do, this will be tied in with JBR Plant and Machinery very soon, and we'll have an open day. And if you haven't driven the electric version, you can come down and have a drive on the farm, and you can have a go in one. So use it, enjoy it. If you're die-hard combustion, just have a go. Like myself, I've always been diesel, but I've enjoyed having a go in an electric vehicle. Maybe they are the future, and I think probably with time the technology will get better and it will improve. So yeah, leave it in the comment section. Would you use the diesel on your farm, or would you rather use the modern electric, the cleaner, greener future, as a lot of people are saying these days with the electric vehicles? But I get the clean green future. It just has to be operated, I think, from things like solar panels. And if you tie it in with the renewable energy, there is a grant for farmers and landowners coming out soon to decarbonise on your farm. So perhaps these will tie in with the decarbonising grants, if that makes sense. So although we're not going to electric tractors just yet, you know, the electric tractors are a long, long way away. Things like power tools and small farm buggies, utility vehicles, perhaps this could be the future. Two different options there. The future, maybe in the past, but I think in all fairness, all sort of power sources are going to be around for a good while. It depends on your application. If you're using, say, for example, a Polaris for a couple of hours a day, couple of miles, come back, leave it on charge, great. If you're using it all day, every day, you know, 16-hour days, you're really going to need the practicality of the diesel or the petrol. So it swings and roundabouts, but it's whatever machine I think suits your application. So yeah, with that, keep liking and subscribing. Enjoy your weekend, whatever you're up to. I'll let you know about the open day on Instagram, and I'll catch you on the next one. Click here to subscribe to the channel, and click here to watch another Olly's Farm video.